Well, it's me set up for the night. And Lass has got her food. Chris has set up that. And you can come up here. Oh, it's a long old way up. Oh, bugger. Whew. Sheesh kebab. Ah, yeah. Lassie. Lassie. Good girl. Whew. Oh, a little bit of a closer look of the caves. That's just come down, but she didn't fancy that dirty water over there. Is there any cavers out there? Anyone been down there? Ooh. Stones and rocks. Don't like stones and rocks. Lassie, come on. You've got plenty of water up there, Lassie. It's not as if you're short of water. Come on. Oh, Lassie. Oh, good girl. Come, you've got your good dinner. You've got your dinner. I'm going to have some soup. I'm going to have some soup and you've got your dinner. Come on. You don't need that water, Lassie.
Just enough that it comes out to form a pool.
Right, okay.
You can actually see water movement under that pool. It's running under the rock and there's a big hole just there.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't take too much to overflow that and bubble up, but it's surprising when you think, you know, all of that is disappearing down there, but some of it must be, oh yeah, some's going down there as well. Yeah, so some's going down there. And some might be disappearing somewhere else, because there's no way that these two little trickles is all of that. So oh yes. Yeah.
Another reason they're not drinking the water below.
Yes. In fact, the water's disappearing down here as well.
Yeah,
so I think it's disappearing in different places. I think it's disappearing there. It's disappearing there. It's disappearing there. Welcome to camp. I've pitched the sides fairly low. I've made the door a little bit lower. I've got the back a little bit lower. I've got everything a little bit lower, but I've still got some height here. Okay, I'm going to get my shoes and socks off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this chicken curry first while it's only coming up to 7 o'clock, and we'll see. I always find with curry it has a funny habit of moving quickly, so if I'm going to have a movement, I'd rather that it was sometime in the next couple of hours rather than this evening, so I think I'm going to eat first. I'll maybe actually boil up a lot of water, then I can make a tea at the same time. I think the only thing with this size pot, I think where, you know, an original pot, you know, like one that comes with the reactor or the WindMaster thing, because the pot is sized to the flame, you're going to get like 100% efficiency. I think because this pot is quite narrow, a wider pot would be better with this. We're going to get a wider pot that could sit down like this, you know, like that, down on it. Then that would be more efficient, you know, even more efficient than this, because some of the heat has to be coming out the sides. Right, I'd say that's boiling now. That probably needs some back in there. Oh, this is where a chair is nice, but when you're walking so far, you definitely don't want the extra weight of that. Right, so that is homemade chicken oh god, I can't think what it's called. Chicken masala. It's homemade chicken masala and rice. And I think there's probably too much water in there, but rice does take up a lot of water, so we will see. And of course, by putting so much water in, it's only made it quite wishy-washy. Never mind. I've never been one for how much does it have to be exactly. I just chuck it in and fry. That's the mess in there. Oop. Pointed in the right position, and probably what I should have done, I probably should have put this into the power pack when I was walking, not my phone, because it basically stopped my phone from discharging. So maybe if I'd have plugged it into that, then it would have just been more efficient with that than, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is around camp, and we are, so Chris is over there, I'm there, and water is there with the dead deer just going there. Lovely. Oh. So you probably, at some point, we could have water coming down there. But that's dry, and it's coming around this way. And yet that water course there is completely dry. Here's my chicken curry, and that has absorbed the water quite nicely. I mean, it's a bit sloppy, but let's taste a bit. It's not bad. I think it's so it's not very strong, but it's not bad. The homemade haggis is my favourite. That really is nice. I think the chicken could probably do with a bit more. It's not bad though. I'm going to eat my dinner and we'll catch up later. Alright, we're doing a little experiment here. So Chris has got about 300 ml in there. I've got about 300 ml in here. It's this MSR cup full, however much that is. It's about 300. So we're going to put both onto board. So we'll turn them on. So if we turn the gases on, so basically Chris has obviously got a smaller gas, but it's new. I've got this gas, but it's used, but there's plenty in it. So we'll turn them on.
Put the lid on the pot.
Oh yeah, put the lid on that one. So if we turn them on at the same time, and then, ooh, I can do knees down.
And you have your watch for timing.
Yeah. Okay, so if we turn them on, okay. So, okay.
Put the pot on and turn it up.
That's probably about as much as I can turn mine up, because then I think the heat starts to come out the side.
Yeah.
So we're on 23 seconds, 25 seconds. So Chris is using the Soto
WindMaster.
I think yours is boiling.
Mine's boiling.
That's boiled after 39 seconds. Mine's still going. Still going. 57 seconds. I wonder, it might be worth just checking the water. About 1:19 now I've got a boil. So that was about 1 minute 19 when mine came to a boil. So yours was about twice as
That surprised me. I
fast.
thought it would be a bit quicker,
Yes.
you know, but I didn't think it would be twice as fast.
How much? Ooh. Will you have spare water in the morning? If
Oh
we
God,
put
yeah.
some in there?
Yeah, I'll have tons in the morning.
So I'm just curious. The only thing I am just curious about is whether...
Do you want to do it again with 300 ml out of your mug?
Yes, that might be worth
Yeah, we can do it again. I've got enough gas
just
for that.
try
Exactly the same amount.
exactly the same and
So
see.
if you empty yours out, because that's got...
Well, we could just boil yours and just see how quickly it goes.
Oh, I'd get with the
yes,
exactly
yeah,
300.
yes.
So that's
Yeah.
exactly 300 ml
Yeah,
this
so
time.
that's
Okay.
exactly how much I put in,
Okay, right.
which I think probably is a bit more.
Might be a bit more.
Hang on.
Right, okay.
No. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna try it again. Okay, so that's on. So mine was 1 minute 19.
Yeah.
And your first one was about 36 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's coming up to 24. It's coming up to the boil already. Is that boiling now or not quite?
Not quite. You could hear the wind was affecting the flame a little just then.
Right.
Boiling now.
Boiling now, 1 minute exactly. So that was exactly 1 minute.
Yeah.
So with that amount of water, so that was 1 minute.
So it's still
quicker than this. So that was 1:19.
Yeah.
So Andy, I think Andy was asking about this. 1 minute exactly. 1 minute 19 with this one, but I think that's because that's got a wider.
It's it's the pot.
The pot.
As I
helps
say, if
a
you
lot.
look, if you read the adventure and look at the Adventure Alan video, it says in that it's not as efficient as it could be because
yes, yeah. So you really need a wider pot.
You've got a larger area to heat.
Yeah.
And you're not losing
so much heat, because I think the heat comes out.
And obviously if you turn the stove down, it's going to take longer. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is why, as I say, in their test, this is the best pot.
Right.
But
so we really need someone to make a pot that wide with these grooves in it that will sit down on one or either of these.
Yeah,
and then that would be an interesting.
And that's why they give us the second best pot, the other fire maple one, the one I had when we went to Craigbeggy.
Right, okay.
Because it's the same width as this.
Right, okay, got you.
It's just
so
a bit
wider
higher
pot.
because it's a litre, not 800 mil.
Okay, got you.
So it's a bigger pot, but it's the same width as that.
Okay, got you. So I've had this then for 4 days. So how much gas do you think I've used?
I'd say over half, certainly. Maybe 2/3.
Right, okay. It's definitely gone down a bit, hasn't it?
You use it a lot more.
I use a lot more.
Because you like all these teas.
Yeah, I keep drinking 20,000 cups of tea, so that definitely uses more. Well, it's nearly 10:15. We've got about half an hour to sunset, just after 10, and it won't really be dark until after 11, and even then it's not that dark. I think because we're quite far north. Mind you, it might be darker here because it's very cloudy and overcast, but I think because we're quite far north, we're quite sheltered here. But we've had a few gusts come through, hopefully not too bad. It kind of flaps a bit like a kite, you know, when the gusts, I don't know where they come. They might come up that river valley and then around and kind of catch me on that side. But I was kind of sort of thinking, well, I really want, you know, breeze, but hopefully not too windy, because what's the lesser of two weevils? Anyone know what film that was in? The lesser of two weevils. So the lesser of two evils was like breeze, a bit sheltered but not too sheltered, or midges. So I've kind of been looking for sites that are sheltered, but that are, you know, not too sheltered. So Chris is kind of up there. I think his spot should be very, very sheltered where he is. But we'll manage. We'll get through the night one way or another. And we'll see what... So there's another... not too bad. I think the gusts are going to increase because at the moment, when I've looked at the forecast, they're like up into the 30s, and then they're going to get into 40s, and then up the tops they're going to get into the 60s in the early hours of the morning. But like I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, that even if the wind gets very bad, you know, higher up, that we're sheltered enough that it won't affect us too much here. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed this shelter holds firm. I made one minor boo-boo in pitching, and I didn't notice it when I was pitching, which was pretty stupid, but it's typical of me. This is the middle, and I'm just slightly to the left of the middle, and basically there's a mound just off camera here, not a very big mound, but it's enough that it's just moved me slightly to the left. If I'd have been concentrating, or if the weather was a bit better, or if I wasn't a lazy bastard, I'd get out and move the shelter 6 inches over to the left, but it hasn't. If it had shifted me over, you know, back here, then I think I'd have to move it over, you know, a tiny bit, but it's such a small amount, it's not worth it. We're fine, but it's given me a good working area here. It means I can even sit on this mat, which I've kind of put here, kind of just using as a workplace here. So that's fine. We'll be okay. It's going to start raining. We've had showers, but I think actual rain, it's going to start raining probably 7 o'clock in the morning. And then it's just going to be on and off rain all day, probably for the next 4 or 5 days for Chris. Luckily we had rain yesterday, but dry. But dry the first day. Rain late yesterday. I don't know if I said yesterday or not. We went into that hotel. Well, we didn't go into the hotel. We went to the hotel where we were going to have some lunch, but because it was a Sunday, it was closed. It's just clever, isn't it? So we didn't get anything, so we didn't eat in the hotel. So we kept walking, and that's when we got into camp last night. So to be fair, in the end, it probably worked out better, because we didn't get into camp, it was a long walk, really quite dull. It wasn't the best of walking that to get into camp yesterday. It was just long track, but camp was nice. But camp was nice. But we didn't get into camp until it was after 5, and it was only the last half hour or so where it rained, and we did get quite wet, to be fair, but it was only the last half hour where it rained. Whereas, although it was raining, drizzling for a bit before, which you would see in that video, but if we'd have, gone into the hotel and had some lunch, that would have been an hour and a half. So we wouldn't have got into camp then until, you know, an extra hour, like 6:30 or something. So it kind of worked out fine. I've eaten most of my food. I've given Chris, because he's running short and he's still got another 3 days to go, 2 nights and 3 days for his next resupply point. So I've given him a few of my snacks. Oh dear me, that I had left. I've still got a couple in my pack, which I probably won't eat. We're only 2 kilometres. We're only 2 kilometres from Inchnadamph, and then when we get there, I've got to call the taxi and get the taxi to come and pick me up and take me to the car. So we'll probably leave about 10 here, 10:30, something like that. So it's only going to be about, we're 2.5 kilometres. It's very easy path. I don't know how much filming we'll do tomorrow, probably not very much. And then, like I said, it's then in Inchnadamph, and then head back. Oh, hey, bloody hell. Oh. But yeah, it's been a nice, it's a nice walk. So if you come over the pass, there is that one rocky bit. It's okay to cross. It's not, it really wasn't that difficult, but I wouldn't want to be doing it in very much windy weather, to be honest. And I'm glad it wasn't snowing. I say snowing, well, I'm glad it wasn't snowing. That would have been very dangerous with snow or ice. Oof. But yeah, I'm glad it wasn't raining crossing. I think the stone would have been plenty grippy, but I think it would have been even more nerve-wracking, to be honest. A little update on power. So this 10,000 milliamp power bank has done me for 4 days with that solar power thing. I didn't do any solar power yesterday because it was just miserable weather. So I used the power bank last night to charge my Samsung up. The iPhone, I haven't put any power in. Obviously, if I was watching more, look, last night I went to bed quite early last night. I went to bed last night, I think I put my head down at like 8 or 9 o'clock. It was quite early, but then I woke up and I didn't really fall asleep very well for a couple of hours, so I'm going to deliberately just make sure I stay awake a bit longer. That's why I'm tired now. But this power bank is on 40%. That's upside down, so it's not 4%, it's 40%. And it's putting power into here. It won't charge it up fully, I don't think. I think it will run out before it's fully charged. But it'll put power into that. The iPhone has got 30%. So there'll be enough in the iPhone, yeah, to get me to the road, you know, to finish the film. There's plenty in there for that. And obviously I've put some power into the GoPro. I bought 2 GoPro batteries, which I've just topped up directly in the GoPro. I didn't bother bringing, I only bought 1 GoPro, 2 batteries, and that's it. I didn't bring the second GoPro, and I didn't bring the little box thing where you put the batteries in. I was trying to keep everything as light as possible. Obviously I carried the weight of the 10,000 milliamp power bank and the 26,500 milliamp power bank, which was 334 grams, which I haven't used. So I must admit, I'm quite impressed with that solar power thing. Like I said, it's the first whole day we just had wall-to-wall sun. So this power bank was down to 50% the first night. So the first whole day I charged that up fully from 50 to 100%, and I topped up both phones. So actually, so the iPhone I did top up from 85% to about 95%. I think we got into camp, so I never fully charged it up, but I topped it up a bit, so that did have a top up directly from the solar thing. And I think this was on like 80%, and I filled that up on our first whole day, which was Saturday, I think. So yeah, so Saturday was a really sunny day, really sunny, and the sun was behind us, so the solar thing got full sun. It was just like I was like the Energizer Bunny. I wish. And it powered everything up. I was really, must admit, I was impressed with that Sunday, but like I said, we had a lot of sun. Yesterday, I didn't even use it yesterday because it was just overcast, and then the rain was forecast, so I didn't even bother setting it up yesterday. But given that it didn't actually start raining until late afternoon, I probably could have done, it might have done something. Today, I think I made the mistake of not, I think if you've got a power bank that needs topping up, you're probably better off just topping up your power bank first and then attaching your phone. Whereas I just attached the solar thing directly to the phone, and basically it filled up. No, it didn't fill up, sorry. It basically kind of stopped the phone from discharging, because I wasn't using the phone very much, but the phone pretty consistently stayed all day on 66%, and I was using it for the map. A couple of times we had a signal, so I maybe just checked the internet or something just for a few seconds, but we were walking, and we'll check the weather. But basically it was just checking the weather and the map, and that was it. So I wasn't using it very much, but it just stayed on 66% really. But it probably would have been better to have tried to get power into. So we'll remember that next time. But yeah, it's weather. If I was in camp and it was a cloudy day and I was watching, getting through this iPhone, you probably would struggle then. I think you would probably struggle then. But I think if you're walking a lot and you've got some sun, again, if it's the winter time and doesn't get light until like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then it's dark at like 4 o'clock, you're only probably gonna have from like 10 o'clock, if you're lucky, like 9-10 o'clock until 3 o'clock, like 5 hours of usable light. Because once the sun starts to go down, then you start to lose usable light. So I think it would be very limited in the winter. But yeah, in the summer when you've got long days and if it's sunny, yeah, it will power thing. It will charge your power bank up. Mind you, like I said, this is only a 10,000 milliamp power bank. So how it would do with a bigger power bank, I don't know. It's difficult to say. But all I can say is from my usage this trip, whereas normally I would be getting through quite a bit of power, it's basically kept me going with just this, and I would not have needed a 26,000 milliamp power bank. But like I said, I'm kind of glad I definitely would never have done this trip without it. At least it was there just in case. And I basically loaned it to Chris now because his power is going down. So he's charging up his power bank from that one and his phone from that, and I'll grab it off him in the morning. Not quite sure. Picks up, but right on the horizon. Oh my god, there's like 3 of them now. I'm coming down to the bloody water, I reckon. Is that the ones you were looking at? Is that the ones you were looking at last night?